If you're one of those who resides or intends to visit any town or village in Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State, then you should be aware that a 24-hour curfew has been imposed by the state government. The curfew, according to the government, takes immediate effect in all towns and villages in the council area. And this is as a result of the fresh clashes, which reports say about 3 people have been killed.
Before now, precisely in February 2018, 7 persons were killed and 15 others injured in the Kajuru local area of Kaduna State as different religious groups clashed. Several houses were burnt in that conflict. In October of the same year, over 100 people also lost their lives, with vehicles and houses set ablaze in what was seen as an avoidable conflict. The state government responded by imposing a 24-hour curfew until normalcy returned. While many of the victims of the previous conflicts are yet to recover from the incidents, fresh clashes are currently brewing, leaving 3 people dead and several others injured. This latest attack started when the body of a young boy was allegedly found in a well. In retaliation, some kinsmen of the boy attacked their neighbors in Kaswa Magaji axis of Kajuru Local Government Council of Kaduna State.
The basis of the imposition of the curfew is to ensure that there is law and order, and to also protect life and property. This is what formed the basis of the imposition of the 24-hour curfew in the entire Kajuru local government area.
In fact, I've sent a lot of troops there in conjunction with the garrison commander. They are patrolling the width and length of not only Kajuru, Kasoma, Gani, and all area, because all the area is supposed to be under curfew. I have been made to know that some people are breaking the rule of the curfew and also trying to incite disturbance.
Indeed, ethno-religious conflicts in Kajuru local government area of Kaduna State have no doubt affected the socio-economic activities in the area, with many still displaced from their homes. The panacea to end this conflict, experts say, is for residents of the area to agree to live together in peace.
In the meantime, the police in Kaduna is making headway as the command arrests 39 suspects said to be involved in a series of kidnapping activities along the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway. Another suspect who used the name of Governor Nasir El-Rufai to kidnap high-profile individuals in the state was also apprehended. The Kaduna State Commissioner of Police explains that the suspect has been meeting clergymen and other personalities in the state, telling them that the governor has contracted him to eliminate them except they pay a ransom. Now, Benue State is another red spot when it comes to communal clashes, and the Governor Samuel Ortom is issuing a riot act to those perpetuating violence in Katsina and Ukum local government areas. Governor Ortom explains that he has given a clear directive to security agencies to immediately arrest and prosecute anyone fomenting trouble in the state. He took the stand after a 5-hour meeting with traditional rulers and leaders from Boko, Katsina, Ukum, Logo, and Kwande local council areas, where increasing violence has claimed several lives.
Weeks of violent conflicts at the border communities of Benue and Taraba states, mainly between the Thieves and Jukuns, have recently engulfed Katsina Ala local council, claiming lives. The traditional rulers in Benue State, led by the tall thief, Professor James Ayatse, are meeting the state government in search of a solution to the crisis. For 5 hours, the state government and traditional institutions deliberate, but journalists are not allowed to cover. However, when they finally emerge, the Governor Samuel Otom and the tour chief brief reporters on the next steps.
We are going to actively provide logistics and support to ensure that anyone, because we have also noticed some criminal elements masquerading in this crisis, so we have directed them to ensure that they apprehend all perpetrators of this evil. What is important is to ensure that our people are peaceful, and that we have agreed. Collectively, we decided that let hostility stop.
We've had issues. Some of the issues border on criminality. The traditional institution, we've all met and we've condemned it. We have all met and issued directive that there should be cessation of all these hostilities. Working together with the government, we cooperate to ensure that all these hostilities and criminality is brought to an end. The traditional institution has spoken, the political authority has also affirmed, and I think we're on the same page.
At the biannual Nigerian Labour Congress, Governor Otom delivers some news that state workers who are being owed 5 months' salary arrears might find quite cheering.
You have done yours. Now it remains mine to ensure enough time to put smiles on the faces of my workers in Benue State.
The promise by Governor Otom to implement the 30,000 naira national minimum wage is welcoming, but the capacity to meet the huge financial obligation the state owing salary arrears may well be something that will require a lot of ingenuity on the part of the government.
The nation's security seems to be under test following recent killings, kidnappings and banditry. Many have asked the government to do something urgently to bring the situation under control. Now, the PDP today also expressed concerns over what the national chairman of the party calls a failure of the part of the president to take strategic steps to end insecurity in the country. He also condemns the president's private visit to the United Kingdom at a time he claims the country is experiencing some crisis.
Security agencies to immediately deploy.
Barely 24 hours after the Senate issued a summons to the Inspector General of Police to appear before it over the security situation in the country, the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party is blaming the federal government for the level of insecurity in the country.
The level of bloodletting occasioned by the barrage of criminalities across the country can only be happening in a country without a government, as crimes of all kinds are committed all over the country, and Nigerians have never lived in such a great fear and trembling for their lives.
The visit of President Buhari to the United Kingdom is another issue that Mr. Secondus frowns at.
A Briton humanitarian worker was killed. What did the president do? What did he do? Instead, he jets out of the country. People are dying every day, and the man is busy going for a private visit. They call it private visit. But you should investigate whether it is private visit or something else.
The special advisor to President Buhari on media and publicity on Channels Television's Politics Today, however, insists that the president is entitled to a private visit at any time.
Those who want to believe all things should just believe what has been released, that is a private trip. When a man goes on a private trip, he has the right to use his time the way he deems, because he has a right to a private time.
Although the PDP is challenging the result of the presidential election in court, Mr. Secondus, whose party came in second in the general elections, accuses the federal government of destroying democratic institutions.
Well, it didn't take long for the APC to respond to these allegations of Mr. Uche Secondus. The All Progressives Congress, the APC Publicity Secretary, Mr. Lanre Issa Onilu, says that the PDP is merely seeking relevance as the opposition party desperately wants to be in the news. He was a guest on our political program, Politics Today.
Actually, it would have been unnecessary for any response at all to come from us as the ruling party. But I suspect that the national chairman of PDP may have stumbled on one of the statements they wrote pre-election, because it sounded more like some of those campaign materials that were not used or that have been used repeatedly, and for which the voters passed a verdict in the last election. In this country, we all know what this country was before APC came. We all know the kind of, the tremendous step we have taken and the progress we have made so far. We are focused on all of that, and it's just an attempt by the PDP to find a way back to the front page of newspapers and then to be relevant in the news.
For the Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, John Cardinal Onayeko, the authorities should make a definitive statement regarding the remaining Chibok girls. The clergyman is unhappy that up till now, many of the Chibok girls are still in captivity. John Cardinal Onayeko was a guest on our program, Hard Copy.
We cannot understand that a group of terrorists have been sitting there in that part of Nigeria and are able to keep so many young girls away from their parents, away from their school. 5 years, over 100 are still missing. That some have been rescued or recovered, it's okay, we thank God for that. But the parents of those who are still missing, I put myself in their position. It's not finished until it is all over. We want, at least there should be, the matter should have a kind of foreclosure. We should say, yes, we know we have so many of them. Some have died. Some have been sold to I don't know where. Let's have a clear account of what is happening.